just crossed the border into Tijuana.
They kill people more than Syria and Iraq because they're in the drug cartels.
Someone was murdered just a block down the street.
In the very loud Plaza Fiesta on a Friday night.
If you just come party and you don't get drunk and try to fight everyone, then you're okay.
Plaza Fiesta, Tijuana, Mexico.
It's just south of San Diego, at the end of the freeway and across the border. And it has a thriving culture of cuisine, technology, medical tourism, and nightlife. For these reasons, many Americans love to visit, but it's also the most violent city on earth.
Welcome to Tijuana. So if Tijuana is the most violent city on earth, why would any sane American want to go there? Well, first let's put that label into context. Last year, there were 138 homicides per 100,000 residents in the city.
Compare that to America's most violent city, St. Louis, which had just over 60 homicides per 100,000 people.
If you were in St. Louis to say, see the Gateway Arch, you wouldn't wander into the neighborhoods where all that crime happens. You'd stay in the relatively safe areas with things like hotels and Starbucks. The same goes for Tijuana.
I've spent well over 100 nights in Tijuana, and this is my guide to the safer and more civilized side of this southern border city. If you'd like to visit Tijuana, but you're worried about your safety, the neighborhood you want to stay in is called Zona Rio. To put it in very American terms, there's a Costco in Zona Rio, which is walking distance from the border. And there's a Walmart in the adjacent Chapultepec. If you stay between the Costco in Zona Rio and the Walmart in Chapultepec, you're basically in the safest version of the city that exists. Let's put it this way. You'll be in an area of Tijuana that's much safer than the dangerous neighborhoods in St. Louis. And Zona Rio is also where you can drink with the locals.
This is the only hookah bar in Tijuana. At the beginning, they thought it was drugs, but then people that knew about it started coming.
Blazing Hookah became my favorite bar to hang out at in Tijuana after I befriended the owner, Ruben.
We started Blazing Hookah Bar and Lounge on March 26, 2015. It was supposed to be a partnership between me and my brother. We were supposed to work it together, but the first week he just, boom, he bailed out. After that week, it has been just me and my wife. We don't know nothing about the business. We didn't even know about hookahs. I went online and studied about them because I didn't know anything. My brother just said, hey, we're gonna do hookahs. And I said, what's that? And then I went and I looked at the history and how it started in India. In India, they used to use coconuts with bamboo and stuff like that. And when the Iranians adopted it, they made it fancy.
Ruben grew up in San Diego, but moved to Tijuana several years ago to open the bar in a place called Plaza del Zapato.
This place is like an outdoor shopping mall for gastropubs and nightclubs.
In the very loud Plaza Fiesta on a Friday night.
We're located in Plaza Fiesta, which is mostly known as Plaza del Zapato in Zona Rio. Zona Rio is a safe place. I mean, anywhere in TJ is mostly safe where there's tourists. The only ones that get in trouble are the ones that start looking for drugs and stuff like that. But if you just come party and you don't get drunk and try to fight everyone, then you're okay. You see it on TV and you hear it everywhere that they kill people more than Syria and Iraq, but most of them are because they're in the drug cartels. For the 7 years that we've been open, we haven't had any incidents, any troubles, nothing bad has happened. Once a guy came and his mom was calling him, he said, no, I want you to get out of there, you know, it's dangerous and this and that. And he said, hey, talk to my mom, let her know that it's, and I talked to the mom and told her, hey, you know what, right here is safe. If you want to party and be rowdy, then you go to other places.
Along with hookah and great cocktails, Ruben serves up perfect late night food. like carne asada tacos and fresh salsa straight from the blender.
Our kitchen is like basically, if you see it, it's like a house kitchen, but we do serve good food.
Don't expect to find any tourists at Plaza Fiesta, as it's all locals that hang out here, like this guy, my friend and one of the club DJs, Pache.
Tijuana. Dile a México, mándale saludos ahí a tus fans. De parte del bar Hookah, para toda la gente. Tijuana, Larry Lam.
If you've never been to Tijuana before, or if you've only been to the tourist bars on Avenida Revolucion or in Zona Norte, you've got to try Plaza Fiesta, because there's no better way to really visit a city than hanging out with the local crowd. This place doesn't really get going until about 10 p.m. on the weekends. And I've been at parties here that were still packed at 4 in the morning. So you can see why they've nicknamed the place Plaza Fiesta.
Plaza Fiesta, Tijuana, México. Esto solo pasa aquí. Clandestino, todo es clandestino.
If you haven't been to Tijuana in several years, you might be surprised by the culinary scene in this part of the city.
There are great traditional tacos al pastor at the famous Tacos El Frank, and perfectly plated fresh seafood and tostadas at Lionfish. For a more hipster foodie vibe, head to Telefonica Gastro Park for everything from fresh poke bowls to local craft beer, and for more expensive but mouth-watering modern Mexican cuisine, head to Paseo Chapultepec and try the food at Lorenza and La Cayetana.
I am at the Fairfield Inn and Suites in Zona Rio. The view out the window is not of the mountains as it appears. That's just a print on the window shade. The view is actually of Zona Rio. I've stayed at this particular hotel for a total of about 50 nights over the past few years. I was working with a tech company here. So this part of the city is fairly civilized, cosmopolitan, relatively super safe, relatively, for Tijuana. Although, while I lived here, someone was murdered just a block down the street, and some politician was gunned down to death at the other Marriott in Tijuana. So, relatively safe. The internet speeds are good. Even wirelessly, it's 50 megabytes plus up and down. Actually 70 megabytes per second download speeds and 53 up. So the third world country is coming along in terms of its internet infrastructure. The other great thing about this hotel is what I'm about to do next is laundry. They have a laundry room, and for $7 I bought a token for the washer and dryer and a laundry pod. So it's got that going for it, which is nice.
If you're looking for a safe and super westernized hotel, I definitely recommend the Fairfield Marriott or the typically lower priced Ibis Hotel. The rooms are small, but the hotel is super modern with fast internet and usually goes for less than $100 a night. It's right across the street from the Costco and Tacos El Frank, and a very short walk from Plaza del Zapato. Most importantly, it's got a bar in the lobby. For a few dollars more and a more upscale experience, try the Hotel Lucerna in the adjacent K Tower. The property is a little more sophisticated with a great courtyard pool and a sushi bar on the roof, great for watching the sunset. If Airbnb is your thing, I lived in this building called the Ottoman for $1,200 a month. About half the condo units in this building are listed on Airbnb, so it's usually easy to find and book one. Expect to spend a little more than the average for Zona Rio, but it's directly across the street from the Walmart that I mentioned, Tijuana's best shopping mall, the soccer stadium, and the Caliente Casino.
The building has a pool, a gym, a club room on the 25th floor with sweeping views of the city, and maybe most importantly, a security staff. Getting around Tijuana is super cheap because the city allows Ubers. Not all Mexican cities do. To get from the border to just about anywhere in Zona Rio or Chapultepec should cost you about $3 or maybe $4 in an Uber and maybe $7 or $8 in a taxi.
So on paper, Tijuana may be the world's most violent city.
But in practice,
It has become one of my favorite places. Subscribe and stay tuned for more of my stories about people and places from my travels.